My beloved child, today is unlike any other. It is a sacred moment I prepared long before you were formed in your mother's womb. My dear one, I wrote your destiny with my own hand, not with ink, but with power and everlasting love. And now, as the heavens align in response to my command, your name is being proclaimed in eternity among those I have specifically chosen for this sacred season. I know you've wondered when my promises would come to pass. Season after season has slipped by under the weight of that question. But my child, the appointed time has now arrived. You remained faithful when the world trembled, so I will cause you to stand firm when the entire earth is shaken. I am no longer working in silence, but in supernatural power. I will reveal myself through what has never been seen before. And through you, I will make my light blaze brilliantly in the midst of thick darkness. You will not merely witness it. You will be the living instrument, the undeniable sign of a God who is truly at work upon this earth. The enemy has crafted a wide and subtle scheme. He does not appear with horns and a tail as you once imagined, but in majestic theories and knowledge that seems reasonable in technologies promising to change the world, but stealing the soul of mankind. He has blinded many to the truth, trading truth for comfort, leading them to worship progress rather than return to the Creator. But my child, you have not been deceived, because within you is the light of the Holy Spirit, wisdom from above, and a loyalty forged in trials. You have lived as the light of the world, as a city on a hill that cannot be hidden. Matthew 5:1-4. And for that reason you are not only protected, you are sent. You are not here by coincidence, but divinely positioned in the right place at the right time for the right assignment. I orchestrated for you to live in this generation, not merely to survive, but to reveal my glory in the midst of a deceived age. Yes, false signs will arise. Miracles from the shadows will attempt to mimic my works. Promises will be made by powers that do not come from me. But I will pour out my Spirit upon you, and you will discern what is of me and what is a counterfeit. For my sheep hear my voice. I know them, and they follow me. John 1:0-7. That stirring in your spirit, the urgency to pray, the longing for my presence, the alertness in your soul is not random emotion. It is a sign of spiritual awakening. I am awakening my chosen ones across the earth, and you are part of that great movement. Millions are hearing my voice, sensing the tremble in their souls and preparing for an irreversible season of transformation. You may not see it all clearly yet, but your spirit already senses it. The subtle signs, a gentle nudge in your heart, a holy discomfort when lies are spoken, a glimmer of light piercing through the night, these are all my call to you. I've planted discernment in you so that you will not be swept away by the deception that is flooding this world. And now, as the moment has come, I will lead you into a new journey, a journey of revelation, of obedience, and of glory. Do not think you are too small to carry a great mission. I am the one who placed you exactly where you are in your family, among your friends, within your community, not to blend in, but to influence. My presence in you will stir hearts not through spectacle, but through sacred stillness, not with loud displays, but with a gentle light that cannot be extinguished. I am shaping you into a new vessel, one that carries the presence of heaven. So open your heart, receive the truth that you have been chosen, and allow your faith to rise, for the winter has passed, and the spring of new life is rushing in upon your soul. What you once waited for is no longer a distant hope, it is drawing near. And I am preparing your spirit to receive things far beyond what you've ever dreamed. My beloved, before the foundations of the world were laid, I saw you. I chose you not because the world applauded you, and not because you always did everything right. I chose you because I saw a heart willing to be transformed. I saw a soul thirsting for truth, a heart that, even though wounded, still turned toward the light. You are living proof that I can use what is weak to shame the strong, that I can use what seems small to accomplish what is great. Understand this, you were never meant to be like the crowd. While many turned their backs on truth, you chose to remain pure. While the world celebrated pleasure and convenience, you chose a simple life, making room in your heart for my presence. You walked through dark days without seeing the way, but you kept walking. That is true faith, the kind I value more than any offering on the altar. And for that reason you have been set apart. My child, I have not only called you out from the crowd, I have distinguished you to be sent. This world is starving for what is real. They've heard too many empty promises, witnessed too many counterfeit miracles, placed their trust in technology, in people, in themselves, only to feel more lost in the end. They don't need another well-crafted speech. They need a soul truly lit by me, and that is what I am doing in you. You don't need to try to become someone else. You don't need to put on spiritual garments that are not yours just to appear credible in the eyes of others. You only need to be faithful as who you truly are, redeemed, beloved, filled with the Holy Spirit. My presence within you will be the evidence. Your words will carry weight not because of eloquence or credentials, but because they are backed by power from heaven. Listen, my child. I know there are days when you feel unworthy, moments when your past clings tightly, and the words of others make you question yourself. But I do not see you through the world's lens. I see you through the blood of the Lamb that was shed for you. I see you through the plan I ordained, not through the mistakes you've made. Do not let anyone, not even yourself, diminish the value of what I have redeemed. You are my masterpiece, created in Christ Jesus to do good works, which I prepared in advance for you to walk in. Ephesians 2:10. There are doors I am opening now, and only those who have been refined can walk through them. These doors are not comfortable invitations, but entrances into a season of great authority. I am calling you into a life of true spiritual impact, not by your own effort, but through complete surrender. This is the path of the consecrated. This is the journey of the chosen. So prepare your spirit. Set aside time to hear me more than the voices of the world. Quiet your heart to perceive just how near my presence truly is. I will pour out new revelations, specific instructions, and visions that human eyes cannot see. But first, I need a heart that is humble and empty, so I can fill it completely. I cannot pour into a vessel that is already full. Come to me like a vessel ready, without demands, without assumptions, without fear, and I will take care of the rest. My beloved child, I know there have been many times you've asked why you had to walk through long seasons of silence, testing, and delay. There were moments you felt abandoned in the midst of unfulfilled dreams and promises that seemed to fade with the passing years. But today, I want you to understand something profound. Not a single season of your life has been wasted. Every moment you spent in the wilderness was preparing you for a season of breakthrough. Every trial you endured was refining your soul, forging it like steel tested by fire. While the world is stirred and shaken by things they cannot comprehend, the one I have trained in the secret place will be the one who discerns. While others are confused by the absence of clarity, you will receive step-by-step instructions from above. And when the foundations they trusted in collapse, you will remain standing firm, because you have built your house upon the rock, my word. I did not bring you to a safe place so you could live in comfort, but so you could become a refuge for others in the day of the storm. As the world trembles under the weight of disturbing news and many chase after signs in confusion, you will be the one who follows the signs within the Spirit. Not everything that appears supernatural is a miracle from heaven. The enemy also crafts counterfeit wonders, dazzling images, and orchestrated phenomena designed to lure the souls that are hungry for the supernatural but lack discernment. I am teaching you how to distinguish what is true and what is false, what comes from me, and what is merely a shell that bears my name. Do not quickly believe everything labeled as spiritual, for many of these are masterfully disguised deceptions meant to steal your spiritual vision. My child, this season is unlike those before. The shaking you're witnessing is not random. It is the trumpet sound of a divine level shift. I am shaking what man once called unshakable, from corrupted systems of power to distorted religious foundations, to reveal what truly belongs to me. In the midst of this shaking, I will place you in strategic positions, not as a bystander, but as one who carries my authority to influence and shift atmospheres. But before I lift you higher, I must ensure your roots are deep enough. If elevation comes without spiritual depth, it will crush you rather than elevate you. Yet I see clearly your roots have already grown deep in holy ground. Every lonely season, every tearful prayer, every time you laid down your own desires to choose my will, those were the moments when your roots pushed deeper into the unshakable soil of my kingdom. And now, when the winds rise, your tree will not be uprooted. It will bear fruit in its appointed season. Know this. My child, the preparation you have walked through is not for you alone. It is for the souls you are destined to touch. You have been trained not merely to live well, but to lead others into righteous living. You have been purified not only for your own freedom, but to bring deliverance to the chained. You have been anointed not to feel holy things, but to break yokes and proclaim restoration. Your experiences, whether bitter or bewildering, have become the very substance through which healing will flow to others. I am teaching you how to live in the world without belonging to it. You do not need to escape from reality, but neither do you need to blend in just to be accepted. You are called to live as a sign hidden in me, yet shining among men. This is the life of those who are sent walking among humanity while carrying the breath of heaven. You won't need to shout to be heard. It is the peace, the steadfastness, and the genuine love within you that will become the most powerful sermon of all. I know you have grown familiar with silence, the silence of waiting seasons, the silence of prayers, seemingly unanswered, the silence of days, so still they feel devoid of meaning. But I tell you today that silence is not my absence, but a deliberate preparation. In the stillness I have been moving. In the darkness I have been building what cannot be seen by the natural eye. And now from that very depth I will cause you to rise. My child, stay vigilant. Do not let weariness slow your steps. Do not let the words of men divert your vision. The enemy knows you are about to step into your harvest season, so he will use every tactic to distract you right before the breakthrough. But know this, the closer you are to the fulfillment of my promise, the fiercer the battle will be. Do not be surprised when the storm comes. It is a sign that you are exactly where I intend you to be. Do not fear when doors close. They are simply my way of guiding you to the right one. Do not lose heart when things seem delayed, for I am never late. My beloved child, listen closely, for what I am about to reveal is not just for you, but for all those I am awakening across the earth. This is no longer just a word for the individual. It is a call to a sacred community, to those who have been marked by spiritual alertness, who are not seduced by the counterfeit lights of the world, but who seek the true light that comes from me. You are living in an age where darkness no longer hides, but boldly takes hold of minds, emotions, and decisions. What was once recognized as wrong is now paraded as truth, and what once was truth is now ridiculed, distorted, and rejected. In a world where lies are cloaked in allure, I am calling you those I have chosen to be the trumpet sound, the light, and the blazing torch for this generation. My child, across the earth, millions are feeling a stirring in their spirit. They may have never met in the physical realm, may not even know each other's names, but in the realm of the spirit they are one army. These are the ones waking in the night with an unexplainable burden to pray, those who sense an urgency in their souls that logic cannot define, those who, like you, are crying out within, Lord, I am ready. I am gathering them one by one in small groups as scattered flames that are now burning together into one great fire. They are not seeking stages or fame. Their only desire is to see my kingdom established on earth as it is in heaven, and you, my precious one, are among them. My child, you are called to do more than merely live morally in a fallen world. You are called to wage war in the spiritual realm, not with sword or spear, but through prayer, discernment, and the boldness to speak truth, even when it leads to misunderstanding. I am training you as a warrior, not in the ways of man, but in the ways of my kingdom. And in this army, no one is left out. No one is considered too small to be used. You will begin to see in the days to come that those who have been chosen will start to sense a distinct shift in the spirit. Some will behold visions they've never seen before. Others will dream strange dreams that carry messages from heaven. Still others will feel a compelling urge to speak truth, even if they never considered themselves to have a voice. This is not by chance. This is my spirit at work. You will witness those who once lived quietly step into the forefront, and those who were once overlooked will carry such spiritual authority that even hell will tremble at their presence. My beloved child, this is the hour in which I am awakening those who carry a prophetic mantle. Not a title conferred by man, but a divine assignment from heaven. These are the ones who can see beyond surface appearances, who can hear my voice amidst 1,000 clamoring sounds, and who dare to proclaim truth even in the face of fierce resistance. You may be one of them. I will not use you because of extraordinary talent, but because of a heart that is true. Those who are willing to hear me in the silence, are the ones I trust to speak with power. And because of this, my child, you will find yourself set apart. You will no longer be able to blend in as you once did. Places that once brought comfort will now feel stifling. Relationships that once felt familiar will begin to feel distant. This is a sign that I am setting you apart for holy work. Do not grieve the shifts. I am protecting you. Those who are not aligned with your spiritual frequency will gradually fall away, so that I may bring forth true co-laborers, battle companions, and hearts that share your vision. Know this, my child, as you step into your role, the enemy will intensify his attacks. But do not be afraid. I have set around you a wall of fire that cannot be breached. Harsh words, skeptical glances, and arrows, shot from the shadows, will all dissolve under my covering. No weapon formed against you shall prosper. Isaiah 5:4-17. What you must do is stand firm in faith and remain spiritually alert. When you see the world shaking, do not panic. That is the sign that my kingdom is drawing near. When you hear words of threat and see worldly systems crumble, remember I still reign. When all that can be shaken is being shaken, you whom I have established will remain unshaken. You are part of a kingdom that cannot be shaken. Hebrews 1:2-8. Hold fast to the truth. Do not be swept away by the currents of the world. For the darker it gets, the more visible the light becomes. And you, my beloved one, are the light in this darkened generation. My beloved, one of the clearest marks of the chosen is not dazzling display or great power, it is immediate obedience. Not obedience when everything is clear, but when the path is still veiled. Not when you have all the answers, but when all you have is a gentle whisper in your spirit. I did not choose you to chase after safety. I chose you to follow my lead, and that requires you to be sensitive to every movement of my spirit. The world glorifies independence, but in my kingdom, blessings belong to those who know how to live in dependence on me. You are not called to make your own decisions first and then pray for my blessing. You are invited to listen first, then act. Every step of the righteous must be directed by me. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will direct your paths. Proverbs 3:5-6. My child, I do not lead you through thunderous voices or flashing signs in the night. I lead you with gentleness, a stirring in your heart, a sudden thought that seems foreign, a peace that defies logic, or a restlessness in your spirit that keeps you from moving forward as usual. This is how I whisper to your soul, teaching you to discern what is right, what should be done, and what must be stopped. But to hear these things, you must learn the art of stillness. Do not be afraid of the silence. In a world that constantly screams and clamors for external validation, you are called into the quiet to hear me. It is in that stillness where I will release crucial strategies. You will know when to turn left, when to wait, and when to step out in faith. Remember, not every open door is from me, and not every delay is a hindrance. Sometimes I close doors to protect you. Sometimes I hold you back, not because I've forgotten you, but because the appointed time has not yet come. My beloved, immediate obedience is what moves heaven. There are things you cannot learn through books or sermons, only through the daily practice of listening and responding. When you begin to respond promptly to the still small voice within you, will realize that I have always been speaking. The issue is not whether I am speaking, but whether you are listening. And when you train your spirit to listen to me daily, your decisions will begin to reflect wisdom from above. My child, do not wait for perfection before you take a step. Many delay their obedience because they feel unworthy, unprepared, or afraid of making mistakes. But I am not looking for perfection, I am looking for willingness. When you obey, even in the smallest things, I will enlarge your influence. When you choose to do what is right, even when no one is watching, I will cause all of heaven to take note. And when you rise to do what I have placed in your heart, I will do things you never imagined possible. There are small acts that may seem insignificant. A phone call, you feel prompted to make a midnight prayer of intercession, a decision to turn away from what is wrong. But it is these very acts that shift the tide of events in the spiritual realm. You may not always see the results right away, but in heaven, every act of obedience carries eternal weight. This is how the chosen ones walk, not by what they see, but by the light of divine revelation. My dear one, remember that obedience is not a burden, it is a privilege. You are walking with me, the one who sees all things and knows the end from the beginning. Obedience is not the loss of freedom, but the entrance into perfect safety. When you learn to live guided by me, peace will become the solid foundation in your heart, no matter how fierce the storm around you may be. Know this: your obedience does not affect only you. It sets off a chain reaction in the spirit. There are souls who will be saved because you spoke at the appointed time. There are families that will be healed because you prayed when prompted. There are lands that will be transformed because you went where I sent you. My kingdom does not move through those who wait for perfect conditions, but through those who dare to step into the unknown with nothing but a word from me. So do not wait for something extraordinary to begin walking in obedience. It is in the ordinary daily moments that I am testing the faithfulness of your heart. Listen, respond, walk, and as you do, you will no longer live as one groping in the dark, but as one guided by the light of heaven. My beloved child, I want you to understand this clearly. While I am raising up a generation of the chosen, the enemy is also moving swiftly. He does not stand idly by as my children step into their divine destiny without interference. On the contrary, he is using the full arsenal of his cunning to do one thing: derail you from the path I have ordained. He does not have to destroy you. All he needs is to slow you down, confuse your direction, or cause you to doubt the very voice you once knew came from me. My child, the enemy does not always come in terrifying forms. More often he disguises himself in things that seem reasonable. A well-meaning piece of advice that goes against my will. A good opportunity that draws you away from my presence. A fascinating relationship that quietly drains your spirit. You will not be able to detect the deception using only logic or emotion. Only spiritual discernment, the very thing I am cultivating in you, can help you stand firm amidst the whirlwind of lies sweeping through this age. Beloved, I see clearly the snares he lays before you. He does not always attack your faith head-on. Sometimes he merely plants a tiny seed of doubt. Did God really say that? If you're truly chosen, why are you so weary? Maybe you imagined it all. He whispers in moments when your heart is worn thin. But remember this: my precious one, that is not my voice. I do not sow confusion. I do not clip the wings of your faith with destructive reasoning. I always lift you up. I fix your eyes on truth. I call you back to life. The enemy also knows how to use busyness to strangle your prayer life. He doesn't need to destroy your relationship with me outright. He just needs to steal your time. He fills your schedule with things that seem important so that you no longer seek me in stillness. But you must guard your time. Place me first, not last. For it is in the secret place that I will arm you not with swords or spears, but with the living word and supernatural power. And be watchful of your emotions, for they are one of the enemy's favorite instruments of manipulation. There will be days when you feel energized, when your faith is high and your heart burns with purpose. But there will also be days when your soul sinks and you do not know why. Do not let fleeting emotions define the truth of your life. My presence does not waver with your feelings. What I have spoken will not change simply because you feel weary. I am the Lord your God, unchanging, and my word is the rock beneath your feet. So, my child, learn to stand firm. When temptation comes, it may not be in your weakest hour. Sometimes it arrives when you feel strong. That is when you must remember who it is that has called you. Do not let praise distract your heart. Do not let success blur your vision. And do not let delay cause your faith to falter. The enemy is cunning in how he uses waiting to trap your patience. But you have been trained to recognize this. You know that though it linger, it will surely come to pass at the appointed time. Habakkuk 2:3. I am building within you a resilient heart, one that is not easily swayed by praise or criticism, not tossed about by fleeting emotions or passing trends. Such a heart cannot be formed overnight. It is forged through trials, through perseverance, through those moments when you see nothing yet choose to believe. And I have seen you walk that path. My child, continue to guard your spiritual territory, not only your mind, but also the relationships you maintain, the environments you enter, and the things you allow into your life each day. The enemy often knocks through the smallest of things, a toxic word, an image you were never meant to see, a thought not yet taken captive. But when you keep your heart tender before me, you will always discern what is my voice and what is deception. My beloved one, do not attempt to fight by your own strength. I have not called you to win through sheer willpower, but through surrender. When you surrender fully to me, I will fight on your behalf. When you are weak, I will be strong in you. When you step into battle, you do not go alone. My heavenly hosts go with you. And upon your head is my name, the name, before which every knee must bow, the name that causes all forces of darkness to flee. Therefore do not fear when the battle draws near. It is merely evidence that you are standing exactly where I have placed you. Do not tremble when you hear the roar of the enemy, for you are covered by the blood of the Lamb. My child, never doubt your worth, for I paid the price of my only son's life to redeem you. If I have chosen you, I will also keep you until the end. My dear one, there is a profound transformation taking place, not out in the noisy world, but deep within your heart. I am renewing what no human eye can see. What you believed had withered and become calloused through time or pain, I am softening again. True transformation does not begin on the outside, but in the deepest layer of your spirit, where only you and I can reach. I know the wounds you have carried quietly for years, the ones no one else sees. I know that you still smile, fulfill your duties, pray, and keep walking, but there are parts of your soul still bleeding in silence. Words that seem to have faded, memories you thought were buried, moments of loneliness. Even in a crowd, I have seen them all, and I have kept every tear you shed in heaven's invisible jar. My child, I did not come only to give you the strength to accomplish great things. I came to touch the places you thought no one could reach, the places you fear to mention, the memories you've buried in silence, the emotions you couldn't put into words. And it is in that place, that fragile, empty place, I am rebuilding a new you. Not a person striving to be righteous, but a person healed, renewed, and truly alive through my Spirit. Beloved, my transformation is not like the change the world proclaims. I am not asking you to simply be better, do more, or try harder. I am calling you to become new, new in how you think, new in how you feel, new in how you see yourself. The scripture says, "Be transformed by the renewing of your mind." Romans 1:2. Transformation does not begin when you do more. It begins when you think differently, when your mind is renewed by my truth. My child, for far too long you have looked at yourself through the lens of the past, through your mistakes, the criticisms you've received, and the times you fell. But I do not see you through the lens of what you have done. I see you through what I am doing in you. You are no longer a victim of your circumstances, your family, or your failures. You are a new creation formed in Christ, bought with blood, appointed to do the good works I have prepared in advance. Let go of the old labels, the false definitions you once accepted as truth, and begin to see yourself as I see you, loved, chosen, anointed. My dear one, know this as well. Healing does not come through hiding, but through the courage to be open. You do not have to be strong all the time. Sometimes the greatest strength is found in the humble confession, I am weak, but I need you. When you dare to lay down your masks, the expectations of others, and the images you've tried so hard to maintain, that is when I can begin the true work of healing. You never need to keep up appearances before me. Beloved child, the healing I offer is not temporary. It is not a passing comfort to get you through the day. It is a deep restoration at the very root, where false beliefs were once planted, where lies have taken root. I will uproot every curse you unknowingly accepted. I will tear down every stronghold in your mind, the thoughts that whispered, I'm not good enough, I'm unworthy, God must have forgotten me, and I will replace them with truth, the truth that you are loved without condition, that you were redeemed at a great price, that you hold a unique and precious place in my heart, my child. As your mind is renewed, everything else will shift. You will no longer react out of fear, but act from a place of peace. You will no longer speak like someone seeking worth, but like one who knows who they are. You will no longer pray just to escape crisis, but to commune deeply with me. And as you begin to live in this way, in freedom, in healing, and the wisdom that flows from me, you will become a powerful vessel, a light set on a hill, shining hope into the souls still wandering in darkness. You do not need to rush to do something great. Let me do something great within you first. Let peace become your rhythm. Let gratitude be the cadence of your life. Let humility prepare the way for power. When you allow me to transform your inner world, the outer world will follow in due time. When your heart is aligned and fully surrendered to me, no force will be able to pull you away from the glorious destiny I have ordained for you. My child, once I heal the deep places in your soul, I will not stop there. I will begin a broader work of reshaping you into the true form I designed from the foundations of creation. Not the version you built to survive in a harsh world. Not the image imposed on you by others through their words, expectations, or disappointments, but the original you formed in, my mind untouched by fear, failure, or the counterfeit glow of worldly success. I did not create you to chase after anyone else's mold. I never called you to become a replica of someone admired by the world. I called you to become yourself, but your truest self in the fullness of the Spirit, in the light of truth, in the deep intimacy of relationship with me. And that journey begins when you allow me to peel away every layer you've wrapped yourself in, every mask you once believed was necessary for acceptance, every internal voice that does not carry my name. My child, true identity does not come from being recognized, but from being named. And I, your Creator, have called you by your true name in the spirit realm. That name is not made of letters on paper. It is the name I whispered when I formed you. It is the name that calls your soul to awaken in the darkest of nights. It is the voice that when you hear it, you know you belong to something greater than yourself, greater than your circumstances, greater even than your own dreams. Understand this, I am renewing the way you see yourself. You are no longer someone striving to please me. You are my child. You are no longer the one who fears not being good enough. You were chosen before you ever did anything to deserve it. You are no longer fighting to be noticed. Your name is engraved on the palm of my hand. I have loved you with an everlasting love. Therefore I have drawn you with unfailing kindness. Jeremiah 3:1-3. My child, you must grasp this truth. True security does not come from controlling every situation, but from knowing to whom you belong. When you know who you are in me, every lie loses its power. No harsh word can wound you for long. No silence can make you question your worth. No circumstance can rob you of the divine understanding that you are a child of the Most High. I am rebuilding your inner foundation, not with theories, but with revelation. I don't want you to merely believe with your mind, but to know with your soul that you are anointed, you are sent, and you have authority to represent me on this earth. When you live from your true essence, not from performance, not from others' expectations, you will walk with a kind of strength the world cannot imitate. And child, a shift in spiritual identity brings a shift in earthly function. The things that once fit you, certain jobs, relationships, activities, or invitations, will now fall away, not because they are evil, but because they are no longer aligned with your frequency. As I lift you into a new spiritual dimension, what is no longer compatible will begin to exit your life on its own. You will begin to see that what once drew you, recognition, achievement, outward success, no longer captivates your heart as it once did. Instead, you will hunger for my presence. You will rejoice in faithfulness, no longer measuring your worth by results. You will assess a day not by tasks completed, but by how closely you walked with me. And this is the sign that your true self is being restored. Embrace this process, even when it feels confusing. Losing what was once familiar is necessary for you to take hold of what is eternal. I never cut away anything from you without the intention to replace it with something better. What you thought was loss is actually release. What you perceived as a setback is actually establishment. What you called an ending, I call a new beginning, one rooted in the right self, the right identity, and the right foundation. So rise up in this new understanding of who you are in me. You don't need to shout. You don't need to fight for position. Just stand in peace, in truth, in the quiet assurance that you are the one I have called, the one I have prepared, and the one I am sending. Your being is no longer shaped by your past or surroundings, but is the living image of a life reshaped by my spirit. My beloved child, now that your being has been healed and your identity has been reestablished in truth, I will not allow you to stop there. Healing is not the destination, it is the beginning. For those I restore, I also equip. To those who have walked through the furnace of refinement, I will entrust the power of heaven not to make them stand out, but to extend my hand through them upon the earth. This is the moment I begin to release the power that has long been waiting within you. It is not a power born of striving, not taught by men, and not something the world can imitate. It is a power forged in the secret place where you wept unseen, where you fought battles in silence, where you clung to my promises in the darkest night and refused to let go. I do not pour my power into ambition, I pour it into surrender. Not everyone who cries out loudly for power will receive it, but the one who lives for others, the one who stoops low to lift the broken, the one who is willing to lay down personal glory to reflect. Mine, this one will carry my heavenly glory in full measure. My child, no matter what, you must understand this. The power from heaven is not a force to control others into changing, but a presence that awakens their hearts to desire transformation. It is an influence that saturates the atmosphere wherever you go, a gentle light that cannot be denied. When you speak, they will not only hear your words, they will feel something stir deep within. When you pray, there will be a trembling in the spiritual realm unseen by the natural eye. When you enter a place, the atmosphere will shift, not because of you, but because of the one who lives in you. I am not equipping you merely with words, I am equipping you with fire. Fire to burn away deception. Fire to warm frozen hearts. Fire to illuminate the darkest corners. This fire is not a fleeting feeling, but a steady flame that never dies. It will compel you to act when injustice rises. It will push you beyond your comfort zone to go where I send you. It will make you restless at the sight of a lost soul. This is the fire of divine urgency, one that cannot be extinguished by criticism or delay. Child, when the time comes, I will unveil you before the world, not as one seeking attention, but as a vessel that has been hidden and is now ready to be used. I do not need you to be famous. I need you to be prepared. There are those who have known you, but they have never seen you in your true calling. They've known fragments, shadows of past that no longer defines your present. But when I bring you into the light, they will have to admit that this is the work of the Lord, and no one else could have done it but me. In this new season, obedience will unlock influence. You will not need to fight for a position. Your position will find you when you are where I want you. You will not need to raise your voice to be heard. Your words will carry weight when you speak what I declare. You will not need to plan your own way forward. I will open doors no man can shut. For when you move in, my divine timing, all of heaven will stand behind every step you take. Always remember this: when power is revealed, the responsibility becomes greater. You can no longer live as before, careless in your thoughts, lax in prayer, casual in your connections. For those entrusted with great influence must be guarded with even greater diligence. Do not let your eyes linger where they should not. Do not let your ears receive words that do not come from me. Do not let your lips speak what does not uplift the soul. For you are a burning lamp, and that lamp must be kept pure at all times. My child, true influence does not come from being invited to speak on a stage, but from how you live each day in silence, in faithfulness, in the small acts that no one praises. Those who are equipped by heaven do not need to prove themselves. You only need to walk in. My presence and I will be the one to confirm you. Those who hunger for truth will be drawn to you. The wounded souls will find their way home, and the lost will see light. And the miracle will not happen because you do something extraordinary, but because you live true to what I have placed within you. So prepare yourself not to stand out, but to be ready. Keep your lamp burning, your soul quiet, your heart steadfast. The days to come will be days of unveiling, not because you demanded it, but because you have been formed. There are souls crying out, though their lips never uttered a word, silent groans from a generation, exhausted by deception, and I will use you to answer them. Not with the language of intellect, but with the resonance of life. Not with arguments, but with truth made alive through your very existence. My beloved, the time has come. It is no longer the season of hiding, nor the phase of quiet preparation in the shadows. The days and nights I refined you in solitude were not forgotten. Now I will bring you forth, not so that you may be glorified, but that I may be glorified through you. What was once sown in silence will now bloom in the light. A stirring is sweeping across the earth, not through news headlines, but through the voice that echoes in the hearts of millions. From remote lands to powerful places, from the nameless to those in key positions, my spirit is awakening a generation. a generation that refuses spiritual pretense, a generation that will not compromise with embellished lies, a generation no longer trembling before the power of man, but trembling before my holiness. My child, this is not a surface wave. This is a deep spiritual current, quiet yet forceful. It will not be marked by banners or celebrations, but by the tremors within human hearts, by sleepless nights, not caused by anxiety but by the stirring of the soul, by tears that fall for no tangible reason, only the overwhelming sense that the time has come. And indeed, the time has come. My child, I have waited too long for those who are truly willing, not the most talented, not the most perfect, but those who dare to say, "Here I am, Lord. I have heard your yes not once but many times." In the whispers of your heart that no one knew about, in the times you rejected the easy path to keep your heart pure, in the moments you stood alone because no one else chose holiness. And now I will prove that what you did in faithfulness was never in vain. You will see that the things I once spoke, the promises that seemed distant, are now beginning to unfold one by one. Doors you thought were sealed shut will open not by your striving but by the power of my timing. Not every door needs to be knocked on. Some doors were designed for me to open at the moment I choose, and now is that moment. Know this, I do not reveal you to the world when you desire, but when you are ready, refined. There are things you never imagined you would carry, but I knew because I placed them within you from the beginning. Dormant capacities, words hidden deep in your heart, preparations that once felt in vain, they will all begin to work together like a divine symphony when the time is right. And this right now is the opening movement. My child, you were not called to merely stand by and watch the wave of transformation sweep across the earth. You were called to lead that wave not through loud declarations, but through the power of obedience, the weight of holiness, and the light of living truth within you. I am raising up people like you all over the world, those who may not have perfect backgrounds but possess a willing heart. They are beginning to see one another, sense one another, and be drawn together by the same spiritual frequency. This is the season of connection for the chosen souls. You will begin to see new relationships form, not arranged by you but orchestrated by me. People you never expected will enter your life carrying keys to open new doors. And likewise, you will be the key for others. This is the season of divine alignment, where vessels that have been prepared will begin to harmonize for a purpose greater than themselves. It is a revival not birthed from a stage, but from the unity of hearts that have been purified. Do not be surprised if you begin to feel a surge from within, a burning compulsion urging you to act. It won't come from pressure, but from a fiery leading. It won't be to prove anything, but because you cannot remain still. That is when I begin to reveal the authority I have placed inside of you. And as you move forward, know this, you do not walk alone. I go before you. Angels surround you, and my spirit operates within you. My child, this is the time when your life is no longer just about yourself, but about a generation waiting for you to rise. Souls teetering on the edge of faith, hearts yearning for truth, lives crying out in silence. They may never know your name, but they will see me through you. And that is the greatest honor a human being can carry, to bear my glory in living form amidst the world. My beloved, as I begin to reveal my chosen ones publicly, you must understand this. The shaking you see is not a sign of destruction, but the first stage of spiritual rebuilding. From financial systems to education, from media to politics, what has been shaken is exposing internal decay, not because I have abandoned the world, but because I am unveiling every foundation not built on truth. The storms rising are not meant to destroy, but to purify. What was constructed through lies, manipulation, ambition, and pride will no longer stand as my light shines upon it. Because the world placed its trust in systems rather than the Creator, I am allowing those very systems to collapse under the weight of their own pretense. And when the dust settles, what remains will be what is true, what belongs to me. In this upheaval, I know my chosen ones like you will feel the first waves. You may sense the growing unrest, the unpredictable changes, and the voices of fear echoing from every direction. But do not be afraid, my child. You are not operating on the same frequency as the world. What affects them cannot touch the sacred part within you. You are standing on a different foundation, one that is unshakable, established by my very word of life. While others seek refuge in their own strength, I am your refuge. When the wicked scheme in darkness, I am the light that guides you. When the world loses its direction, I am your unwavering compass. And when everything seems to fall apart, you whom I have prepared will stand firm like a tree planted by streams of water, whose leaves do not wither and who bears fruit in due season. I will cover you with my presence. Even if you live in the midst of turmoil, I will cause your household to be at peace. Even if you must walk into places that appear dangerous, I will ensure that your steps do not falter. Some will ask, why are you so calm when everyone else is panicking? And you will not answer them with theory, but with the living presence of mine within you. That very presence will become the greatest testimony, not what you say, but who you are in the storm. Beloved one, in the midst of the shaking, I am not only protecting you, I am entrusting you. I am placing into your hands spiritual understanding, sharp discernment, and ears that are sensitive to the voice of heaven. While others are still confused about what is true, you will see clearly. While the world is overwhelmed by the pace of change, you will walk in the rhythm of the Spirit. For I have not called you merely to survive, but to lead others who are lost in the chaos. It is in the midst of disorder that divine opportunities will emerge, but only those with spiritual eyes will perceive them. There are doors you have knocked on repeatedly, with no answer. Now they will open because I have cleared the path through the storm. There are hearts that once refused to listen, now they will soften because I have knocked on them with a mighty trembling. My child, when the moment comes, you must be ready to speak, not your thoughts, but the words I give. Now listen, my child. Do not be afraid when the old things begin to fall away. Old models, old ways, even old relationships, they will all be re-examined under a new light. Do not cling to what I am removing. When I do something new, you cannot bring the old wineskin. Let me change both the wine and the wineskin, so what I pour out will not be wasted. Some changes may confuse you at first, but if you trust me, you will see that my hand is clearing the way through what looks like breaking. Know this: in every nation, every city, and even in the smallest communities, I am awakening ones with the same spirit as you. Those who do not close their eyes to truth, who are not deceived by false light, who do not remain silent in the face of spiritual injustice. They are rising up like scattered sparks of fire, and you are part of that network of light. You will find each other not through intellect, but by a frequency sent from heaven. This is a divine convergence in the midst of transition. Beloved, do not be troubled when things are shaken. I am in the midst of the earthquake, but you are in my hands. I am shaking the heavens, yet you are standing on a foundation that cannot be moved. I am allowing temporary kingdoms to collapse, but you belong to a kingdom that can never be destroyed. When others look around in panic, you are to look up and praise, for the season of divine action has begun, and you are an irreplaceable part of what I am doing. As the world continues to spiral in the chaos, I have forewarned something greater is quietly arising: holiness. Not as a movement, not as a surface-level campaign, but as a calling from heaven to those who are set apart. This set-apartness is not isolation. It is full consecration to me in every area, in thought, in speech, in motive, and in behavior. My child, you are not called to run from the world, nor to blend into it. I have called you to live in the midst of the world as salt in a fading reality, as light in a dimmed atmosphere, as fragrance in an era that has lost its spiritual essence. The world will try to convince you that consecration is outdated, that it's harmless to compromise just a little, that you can blend in partly without losing what is holy. But you know this well: when you dilute the light, darkness does not retreat, it takes ground. I did not call you to fade into the spirit of the age, but to shine amid the deepening darkness. I did not entrust you with a message that is easy to digest, but with a living word engraved through the very way you live. Beloved, this requires you to choose the narrow path even when few walk it. It calls you to say no, even if that means walking alone. It demands that you keep your heart upright when no one is watching, and step away from the table of the world to sit at the table of my presence. True consecration is not a rejection of life, but a deliberate decision to let nothing come between you and me. In the midst of a wave of watered-down faith, my army is rising not as a noisy crowd, but as souls kindled by fire from heaven. They do not seek an audience, but are always ready to testify. They are not recognized by human religious systems, but marked by my presence. They may not always be liked, but they carry life. They may not be seen as exceptional in the world, but they shake the realm of the spirit, and you, my beloved one, are among them. My precious child, I am setting apart an army not to fight with earthly weapons, but to war with holiness, with prayer, with unfading faith, and with unshakable love. This is a generation that will not settle for half measures. These are the ones who, when they say yes to me, also say no to everything false. They do not wait for the world's approval to live rightly. They live rightly because they have encountered me, and they cannot go back to who they once were. You will soon see that in the days to come, holiness will no longer be optional. It will become essential for survival. Those who do not live set apart will easily be swept away by waves of compromise, deceived by counterfeit spiritual signs, and fall into a subtle spiritual dullness. But those who keep their hearts pure, not out of fear but out of love, will walk in a higher discernment, receiving clear direction for every step in the midst of chaos. Do not underestimate the small choices you are making now, how you spend your time, what you allow into your spirit, the companions you keep, and the thoughts you treasure in your heart. Each of these decisions is shaping you into a vessel of great value in my hands. When I choose to use someone, I always begin by purifying them, not to punish, but to prepare them for something far greater than they can imagine. And remember, this consecration is not merely something I require of you, it is a gift I give. For it is in consecration that you will experience a deep joy the world cannot steal, a peace that surpasses all understanding, and an irreplaceable closeness with me. While others rush to chase after the next thing, you will learn to remain in me. And in that abiding, everything you need will come. So rise, my child. Accept the invitation to a consecrated life. Let every part of you, mind, soul, and body, be laid upon the sacred altar and consumed by the fire of surrender. There is nothing I cannot do through a life fully yielded to me, and no power of darkness can touch the one who is covered in the light of my holiness. This is the time for my army to arise one by one, voice by voice, step by step, carrying the flame that has long been burning in hidden places. And you are among the first I have awakened to carry that flame into places where darkness believed it had already won. As you step into this moment where holiness has been established, consecration embraced, and the fire has been kindled, you will begin to sense a shift in the spiritual atmosphere. No longer will it be a silent stirring, but a visible wave of glory. I am transitioning you, my faithful ones, into a new level of power, faith, and discernment concerning the true battle that is unfolding. My child, this is no longer the time to think like the immature. This is the season for those who are strong in spirit, those no longer swayed by emotion, no longer retreating in the face of adversity, and no longer doubting when my word appears delayed in the eyes of men. This is the season of mature faith, the kind of faith that does not need to see in order to believe, but believes so deeply that it will surely see. Faith like an arrow released into the midnight sky, confident that light will break forth on the horizon. I am taking you through a glorious transition, not through man-given glory, but through the weighty glory of my presence. You will begin to clearly perceive certain things. My words to you will come to pass more swiftly. Long-awaited prayers, once met with silence, will now be answered, and doors once thought sealed forever will suddenly open like lightning splitting the clear sky. Not because you have done anything different, but because you have stepped into the appointed time on my divine calendar. You will no longer merely walk in my presence, you will carry it. The places you go will no longer be random destinations. Every conversation, every situation, every step you take will be saturated with a kind of influence that only comes from those who have dwelled in the secret place with me. It is not you who becomes great, but rather my greatness flowing through your life. This is the shift from receiving to releasing, from waiting to walking in commission. You must also understand that the warfare will intensify. As the light in you shines brighter, it will expose the darkness more clearly. As my power is revealed through you, forces that have long hidden in camouflage will rise to resist. But do not fear, for I have taught you not only how to stand in peace, but also how to war in glory. This is no longer a time to evade spiritual conflict. This is the time to confront it with the authority already given to you, wielding the sword of my word and the shield of unwavering faith. Remember, child, victory does not come from the strength of your hands, but from the steadfastness of your heart in truth. The enemy does not tremble before those who speak many words, but before those who live them. He does not shudder at loud declarations, but he quakes before a soul filled with my presence. And you are one of those souls. You have walked through fire. You have waded through the mire. You have rejected shortcuts. You have preserved integrity in the shadows. And now you will stand in a light that cannot be extinguished. The battle ahead will not resemble the ones you have faced before. It will not arrive through physical weapons, but through the disruption of thoughts, the distortion of systems, and direct attacks on foundational truth. The enemy will attempt to make wrong appear right and right appear extreme. But you have been prepared. I have trained your ears to discern truth in the noise. I have disciplined your soul to be led not by fleeting emotions, but by the whisper of my voice deep within your spirit. This is the time for you to rise as a warrior of light, not to attack people, but to break the invisible chains that are holding souls captive, not to argue, but to live as undeniable evidence of the living one. I did not call you to be a spectator. I called you to engage in the final battle where light and darkness no longer stand side by side, but now confront one another with every day, every hour, and every small decision. Yet in the midst of this battle, you will see what many cannot. My glory will cover you like a mantle. The words you speak will carry life. The prayers you lift will shift the atmosphere. Every step you take will reclaim ground for the kingdom. This is the season where my faithful army will no longer be hidden, but will be placed like a lamp on a hill, shining not only for themselves, but for many who are seeking a path through the night. My beloved child, as you move deeper into this season of revelation, there is one unshakable truth you must engrave upon your spirit. The victory I have given you cannot be stolen. No circumstance can erase what I have etched into your destiny. No force can strip away what has been sealed by the blood of my only Son. No darkness can extinguish the fire from heaven that I have kindled within you. The victory I promised is unlike that of the world. It is not measured by temporary outcomes, nor by popularity, nor by the reactions of others. It is a deep, lasting triumph that comes from not backing down under pressure, not turning away when surrounded by darkness, and remaining faithful, even when no one is watching. That victory is recognized not by applause, but by heaven's affirmation. My child, I have seen your faithfulness even when you did not understand the entire plan. I have watched you continue to pray when answers seemed far away. I have seen you walk each day in obedience, even when everything within you wanted to give up. And it was in those unseen, uncelebrated moments that you left a mark upon eternity. Now I declare, not a single tear you've shed has been in vain, not a single groan has gone unheard, and no act of faithfulness is anonymous in my sight. This is the moment when I fulfill what I have promised, not in part, not by your measures, but in the way I have ordained since before the foundation of the world. The reward I give you is not a simple repayment, but a portion of my very nature being imparted into your life. You will not only receive blessings, you will become a bearer of heaven's life, not by effort, but through the very presence you carry. You will find yourself becoming a source of living water to many. Not because you have all the answers, but because you carry life itself. Those who come near you will find refreshment. The wounded will find shelter. The doubters will encounter a faith that does not come from argument, but from a truth that has come alive through you. You will not need to strive to influence others. The presence of mine within you will move powerfully on its own. My beloved child, never forget that the greatest reward is not in what you receive, but in the uninterrupted communion between you and me. You have learned to seek me, not for what I can do, but for who I am. And because of that, I will grant you a new depth of intimacy, where you no longer just hear my voice, but understand even what I have not yet spoken. In that place, you will not strive to pray, for our oneness will cause your heart to beat in rhythm with mine. This is the season I lift you, not to make you stand out, but to raise you above the reach of doubt, weariness, and the shadows of confusion. I will place you higher, not so you can look down on others, but so you may see the full landscape through a heavenly lens. And when you see with that vision, you will no longer be pulled by fear, pressured by circumstance, or weighed down by anxiety. You will act as one who knows they have already overcome, not by merit, but by the cross and the blood that secured your victory before the beginning of time. My child, do not let anything cause you to question your worth in my eyes. When I call you my beloved, it is not a term of sentiment. It is a legal, spiritual declaration. It holds weight in the heavens, it carries power in warfare, and it is the very reason the enemy trembles at your rising. You are no longer one searching for your place. You are walking in an unshakable inheritance. And now I declare this over you: every step you take in obedience will multiply in spiritual impact. Every word you speak in truth will become a seed of awakening. Every act you carry out in love will become a flame to rekindle faith in others. You are living not just for yourself, you are living as a stream of heaven flowing into a world parched by the absence of true life. My beloved, now that you have passed through the journey of refinement, purification, reshaping, and divine equipping, I want you to grasp the most sacred truth. Nothing you've endured, no faithfulness you've kept has been in vain. In fact, every quiet step, every whispered yes when no one saw has been etching your name permanently into my eternal design. The time has come for me to declare before heaven and all invisible powers, you are mine. No force can revoke this. No accusation holds power. No condemnation has the right to speak. For I, the only one who has authority to judge, have chosen you, redeemed you, cleansed you with innocent blood, and sealed you as one who belongs to an unshakable kingdom. You are no longer waiting to be affirmed, you have been certified by the Creator Himself. I proclaim you faithful. I proclaim you a vessel tested by fire and not broken. I proclaim you the keeper of the flame in the night, the one who did not extinguish belief, even when every other light went dim. I proclaim you the one I will use to glorify my name on this earth, not through eloquent speech, but through a life that breathes truth. My child, now is the time I fulfill every word I have spoken. Nothing remains unfinished, no promise falls to the ground. Everything I sowed into your heart, whether in dreams, in visions, or in quiet whispers through the night, will now come to pass in the appointed time I have set, and you will see with your own spiritual eyes that nothing you thought was dead was truly lost. It was only waiting to come alive in its rightful season. Beloved, when you look back on the path you have walked, you will understand no detour was accidental, no wilderness season was wasted, no day of waiting was in vain. It has all been written into a sacred melody, and now in this anointed moment, that melody is reaching its crescendo, where every low note is transformed into a song of glory, and every silence becomes the canvas for a triumphant refrain. I did not promise you an easy road, but I did promise that my presence would never leave you. I did not promise that everyone would understand you, but I did promise that all of heaven's angels would surround you with protection. I did not promise that you would always feel strong, but I did promise that my strength would be made perfect in your weakness. And now, as you approach the final stretch of a divine chapter, I invite you to step into a new page, a page of eternal glory, where you no longer live just to endure but to shine. My child, the army to which you belong, the faithful ones, the quiet ones, the ones who never sought recognition, will now rise together, not as those seeking to impress, but as messengers anointed to bring life. They carry no banners, but they bear the silent, undeniable seal of heaven. They are the ones who were called, who were chosen, and who endured until the end. And to such as these I give a reward that will never perish. Beloved, your reward is not merely reserved for some distant future. Even now you will begin to feel the triumph in each step you take, the affirmation in every act of obedience, and a depth of connection with me that surpasses anything you have ever known. You will witness doors opening not because you knocked loudly, but because heaven commanded them to open. You will see souls drawn to you not because of your talents, but because the light within you is what they have long awaited, though they never knew how to name it. I will allow you to see the fruits of the spiritual seeds you have sown through faith, through tears, through unwavering loyalty. And when that moment comes, you will weep not in sorrow, but in holy awe, because you will know that every moment you lived, every prayer you whispered, every quiet sacrifice you made, has indeed borne eternal fruit. My beloved child, when that day comes, the day I call you to stand before my glorious throne, you will not come with empty hands. You will come with a heart refined through fire, with a soul that knows the sound of my voice, and with a life that has left a spiritual legacy for generations to come. I will look upon you, smile, and say, "Well done, good and faithful servant. Come and share your master's joy." Matthew 2:5-1. And in that moment, you will know everything you lived through, endured, and overcame was worth it. For you will not have merely completed a journey, you will have fulfilled the mission I entrusted to you, and you will have finished it in eternal glory. Subscribe and turn on the notification bell to receive more words of life. Strengthen your faith and walk in the boundless love of the Lord. Together with us. Amen.